Happy Thanksgiving from Regina. It's time for a second helping on Turkey Day. A playoff feel here at Mosaic as two Western Division rivals clash. The 7-7 Eskimos, the 9-5 Roughriders in a live mic game at Mosaic.
One quarterback coming off a season low, one a season high for the Edmonton Eskimos. That was the low end of the scale. Was Mike Riley, 164 yards passing, 2 interceptions last week versus the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He wants to make that bad feeling go away today. The other end of that scale, Zach Collaros coming off his best game of the season against the Montreal Alouettes, throwing for 394.
Day. The Hawks fly over from CFB Moose Jaw to set the tone for this critical game in the West. Chris Jones's team on a roll, 6 wins in their last 7, trying to match last year's win total of 10 here this afternoon. And on the other sideline, Jason Moss's team beat Saskatchewan back in August. They are 2-5 since that victory. Lost 4 straight on the road. We're underway. It will be Martese Jackson from his 13. And Jackson bumped out around the 30-yard line, and that's where Mike Riley will lead out the Edmonton Eskimos on offense. And Suits, as you mentioned, coming off a season low and what he called one of the worst games in 3 years.
770. Pistol fake 770 with a T-check. Yeah, 770 with a T-check.
Take the gable. Going to take a shot early here. That's Kenny Stafford, incomplete. Ed Geedy, step for step in coverage for the Roughriders.
Offensively, the Edmonton Eskimos leading receiver in the Canadian Football League, Duke Williams.
564, 64 with a wide.
Was a question mark to play today, but he's in there, taped up on the shoulder. And Matt O'Donnell, quite the story, moving from right guard a year ago to the toughest position on the O-line, left tackle.
Playing in his 100th game today. 2nd and 10, they went no huddle. Pressure on. Riley steps up and gets it away. It's dropped. Vidal Hazelton unable to make the catch at the 42, a 2 and out to start for the Eskimos on offense. So Hugh O'Neill to punt. Kyron Moore and Marcus Thigpen are back. Moore shading his eyes as he looks into the sun. And running up on this one that will bounce to him on a couple of hops at the 40. And Moore gets cut down. Good downfield coverage there by Christoph Mulumba-Shimanga as Zach Collaros, coming off that season best performance, leads the Roughriders out for the first time.
Hey, football! Football, empty right. Football, empty right. Hey, Sam, stay. Hurry, hurry. Hey, Saturn. Yep. Hurry. Mason stepped back into the backfield, takes the initial handoff, and gets brought down quickly by Adam Konar.
Kyron Moore's got a couple of punt return touchdowns this year in his first season in the CFL, but coming off season high in receiving yards, over 100 against Montreal. And the leader up front, no question, is Brendan Labatt. He's going to have his hands full with Armando Sewell in this one this afternoon.
41.
So 2nd and 7. Marcus Thigpen's the second down back. Double tight end formation. Thigpen releases. Collaros looking further downfield and has a completion Catch is made by Kenny Shaw in his second game. A terrific Rough Rider debut last week with 5 for 75 in the winning against Montreal.
Kenny Shaw.
Hey, here we go. Listen up.
Right down the hash mark. He's got that deep dig route.
YS vertical under W.
Just in behind the linebackers.
Here on.
25-yard catch into Eskimo territory at the Edmonton 44.
Sit down. Read it. Read it.
Looking for Shaw again to the sidelines. This one incomplete. Shaw got a great head start on the waggle. There is a flag down on the play. And the indication of going against Edmonton.
Illegal block, hands to the face, Edmonton, number 54. This is a 10-yard penalty that will result in a first down.
It's Alex Bazzi, the defensive end, gets called for hands to the face.
There's Alex Bazzi.
Huddle.
2-point
Hey,
stance.
still cluster left. X. 44 brick W edge X limbo.
No question.
Pistol if you want.
It's an area of improvement for the Edmonton Eskimos over the last few weeks.
No.
Cutting down on their penalties by half.
Sit down. Green it. Green it.
First down at the 34. Another flag comes down. Nothing doing for Mason. Rough Riders, the number 2 rushing team in the league coming into the Thanksgiving weekend.
Offside, Edmonton, number 26. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Well, back-to-back penalties against Jason Moss. Moss's Eskimos. Chris Edwards draws the flag.
What?
Jake Sresnick is coming off a game where he had 2 sacks against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in that blowout loss. Did a nice job. J.C. Sherritt, one of the best years since he was a defensive player
You're good.
in the Canadian Football League. And Neil King in game 101.
Yes. No, bring it.
2 games off the 6-game injured list.
Sit.
Second start for King at safety.
Read it.
First and 5. Handoff to Mason. Bumps it outside. Money Hunter in pursuit. And Trey Mason gets to the edge and is bumped up by Forrest Hightower.
Trey Mason ranks 5th in the Canadian Football League in rushing, but the Saskatchewan Roughriders as a team
Hey, two back.
have quietly moved into 2nd place rushing the football in the league. So it's a combination of Trey Mason and Marcus Thigpen that is racking up some run yards.
W sledge on the hurry. Ready? Fire.
Take a shot. Might take a shot.
Hey,
Let's see what they've got on 2nd and short.
Hurry.
Out of the hands of Mason. And he has a first down. Talked to Sherritt yesterday about how tough a running back Trey Mason is.
Yeah, he said, he doesn't look very big. And when you take a look at the lineup, Trey Mason is right in 209.
Hey, hold on, here we go.
And
Hey, quads right, 51, X Dragon, Z Dodger on 1. Ready?
Sherritt told us yesterday that he is a powerful back and very tough to cover or to tackle.
Sit down.
Good-looking opening drive for the Rough Riders.
Read it.
4 receivers near side. Calero's looking the other way. Going to get taken down. Dropped at the 25-yard line. Eskimos have their first sack of the game. Almondo Sewell has his 5th sack of the season.
Well, this is a matchup, and this is a guy we'll watch and always do because he's one of the best in the league, the interior defensive tackle position.
Hey, here we go.
And he is going to be a handful, even for a veteran like Brendan Labatt.
50, R Dork, S flat. 50, DePaul on 1. Ready?
Eskimos didn't have a sack in the first meet against the Riders.
Read it.
2nd and 14. And over the backfield, it's Thigpen. And Marcus Thigpen has a first down inside the 10. Big second down conversion for the Rough Riders.
Now this is a combination. Now this is a throwing play because it was 2nd and long. So Calero's just going to, he pushes the flat 4-man pressure. So Thigpen's out there with man and everyone else in a chase position. So he gets a second to turn the corner.
Ready?
Just 12 red zone touchdowns for Saskatchewan this year. Swing this out, batted down. Alex Bazzi had a paw on it, and he could have gone the other way.
I was going to say, we've seen this week a couple of times where defensive linemen are stepping up and making plays like this. I mean, way over here to your right, he goes right up the field. If he can one-hand this, he's still running.
Hey, listen up. Let's go. Tango, blue left, 61. W post, Y mesh, X, R.
So 10th play of the drive. Second and goal. Short drop, pressure coming, and they get to Collaros once again. Couple of sacks on the drive, and the Eskimos defense stiffens, and again it's Sewell back to back. And the 6-time All-Canadian defensive tackle comes up big in the opening series.
Yeah, the guy who forces it, I'm going to put the spotlight on him right off the top again, though, is Alex Bazzi. He gets a great jump on the snap of the ball here, gets around the edge, forces Zach Collaros to step up into the pocket, right into the arms of Sewell and Serezna.
I'll just tell you what happened.
So here's Brett Lowther, one of the
James, we're going to take the ball.
terrific young place kickers, having an outstanding season, looking for his 42nd field goal of the year. He's 42 now of 45. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders take an early lead. But the Eskimos defense able to come up with a stop, led by Almondo Sewell.
This program may contain coarse language that could offend some viewers. Discretion is advised.
Silent, ready? 365 with a wide.
Eskimos start at their own 35 after the Roughrider field goal. Looking for their first quarter points in 3 games. Down the rail, he's got Duke Williams. And Williams steps out of bounds in Roughrider territory, working against Nick Marshall on the corner.
Just to your left of your screen, it's a great throw to the back shoulder of Duke Williams with his injury, which is a shoulder injury.
540.
It's going to be tougher for him to go up and win those jump balls and get both hands up in the air. So we may see more of that throw behind.
Just 2 for 41 against Marshall in the first meeting. He gets 30 on that catch. And the Eskimos in business. And off to C.J. Gable. And he's down to the 42 against this stout Saskatchewan defense.
Well, watch the tackles like Matt O'Donnell in this matchup against Charleston Hughes. Still leads the league in sacks with 14.
551.
Just one in the last 4 games, but that was last week.
Siri Banger.
You're talking about
Siri Galaxy.
outstanding defensive player nominees. Samuel Glavin should get some votes, and if you look back in their secondary, Purefoy went through concussion protocol this week, but was cleared and in the starting lineup today.
3 receivers in a cluster formation. Riley going to pull it down, and he'll run for a first down. And Mike Riley will feet first slide inside the 30-yard line. He'll go over 400 yards rushing.
3 back!
Only Jeremiah Mazzoli with more rushing yards among quarterbacks this year.
All right, here we go. Let's go. Tight hope, not dirty. Tight hope, not dirty. Go.
Hey, black powder, black powder. Black powder, black powder. 45 power.
13 for Riley, first down Edmonton.
Sounds like a power run play. The fullback in there.
Straight ahead. And dropped at the 25 for the USC product.
Eagle! Hurry, hurry, hurry! 3 back! Eagle!
465, 465.
Memory of last week to go away, and the only way to do that
465.
is to get a win. Those were the numbers against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Credit where credit's due. The Bombers played great on defense that night. You can see by the numbers that it wasn't a good outing by Mike Riley.
No 30-yard plays in that game. He has one on this drive. Second down. Quick hitter is pinballed around, incomplete. A couple of guys had a shot at it, including Cameron Judge on defense.
But matched the drive to get in field goal range and match the points. Catchable football, but Mitchell over the middle.
Mitchell, Purifoy, and Judge all had shots at that. Here's Sean White looking to tie the game. From 32 yards out into the hole to Danny O'Brien. It is up and good, and the game is tied. 5.5 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. Zach Collaros has been heating up. 7-3 on the year. He's won 6 of his last 7. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, the official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Roughriders looking for their 3rd straight win.
Block, X-Hammer, Kill, 51S Auction, X-Cat, Zichigo, Lion. On the hurry, ready?
And a victory here would be a giant step towards kneeling down a home playoff.
Hey, let it roll, let it roll! Let it roll, let it roll! Fire, fire! Hurry, hurry!
Watts to the right. Collaros comes off the screen with a flag on the play. And there's the speedy Thigpen. Angled out around the 42-yard line.
Okay, good.
Holding, Saskatchewan, number 68. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Here we go,
Right
let's go.
tackle Thaddeus Goldman.
Defensively, the Edmonton Eskimos can start to get sort of tendencies from Saskatchewan offensively. When Marcus Thigpen so far has been on the field, it's been second and long situations. That was the first time he was on for first down. So Mike Benavides can look at that and say, if Thigpen's out there on first down, he's probably getting the ball.
Sit on! Read it! Read it!
1st and 20. Thigpen releases. That's Shaq Evans with a catch up at the 32-yard line. He has 7. It'll be 2nd and 13.
That's great strategy by Chris Jones to put Thigpen out there in second and long situations. He's the home run hitter.
Hey, football, spread right, football. Football.
Sounds like football is a hot word for Zach Collaros today.
Hurry, hurry!
Call it on the line.
Hey, Bismarck! Bismarck!
So if he calls football,
761.
he's going to call the audible and call the player on the line of scrimmage.
Hurry! Sit down!
2nd and 13. Stands in, throws the strike. And it's going to be short of the first down. Jordan Williams-Lambert the catch.
Let's go, win your battles. Win your battle. Let's go.
But the punt team will have to come on for Saskatchewan.
Stay outside. Stay outside.
Always a reminder from the head coach to stay onside when it's 3rd down and less than 5 yards. Jumping offside obviously gives Saskatchewan a new set of downs, and they've got a returner back there now, Edmonton. It's the first time in a couple of years a true returner in Martese Jackson.
Almost looked like a shake. It's going to be a no yards penalty against Saskatchewan. Jordan Reeves down inside that halo. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. Mike Riley do offense when we come back.
Let's go! Jit, does it ever get this cold in Tennessee?
It's still good, huh?
Did you and Vaughn make some turkey?
Hell no.
Come on, man, it's Thanksgiving.
Listen in today. A couple of veteran quarterbacks. And Mike Riley with better field position than he anticipated. A 15-yard penalty tacked on for roughing against Chad Jeter. So a net of 18 on the field position flop. Short drop. nothing available. And Riley will take off once again, sidestep a hit. And when it looks like he's going to step out of bounds, he gets a few extra yards. And you saw Nick Marshall with a hit on Duke Williams, and that's a penalty.
Old college teammates going at it down there, and Mike Riley showing you the importance of the game.
Yeah.
Told us yesterday, basically,
Major
they're
foul.
playing.
Unnecessary roughness, Saskatchewan. Number 3. 15 yards at the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Basically, they're playing playoff football right now, and the rest of the way.
41 sack. 541 sack.
But you can tell the importance of the game because Mike Riley had a chance to go out of bounds here, but got a couple extra yards, took a big hit because of it. And then after the fact, that shot right there cost the Riders.
10 on the run, 15 on the penalty, and C.J. Gable slips through and down to the 27-yard line. The safety, Mike Edom, with the tackle, but Gable has 7.
Ask Jason Moss about C.J. Gable and this time of year, and as Matt Dunnigan said in the last game, it's snow season, so you got to start plowing. And he said, you know, I'm going to run the ball more, and it is a thing when it gets this time of year that you want to run the ball more, but only if it's working. You got a quarterback like Mike Riley, he's not afraid to put it up 40, 50 times in a game.
Second and 3, and we'll try to plow for the first down. Looks like they'll be close. Had a dusting of snow, not here in Regina, but throughout the province this morning. But what a beautiful Thanksgiving day here in Saskatchewan. Temperature about 5 degrees.
Jumbo, get in there.
Trace.
This offense is stalled a little bit over the last couple of weeks again. A great performance by the Bomber defense. C.J. Gable may be a key to kickstarting it.
Restart was 15 for 15 on 3rd and short. And Riley will follow in behind Jacob Ruby, David Beard, and should have it. That adjustment on the offensive line, Justin Sorensen not starting today. And Ruby getting his second start at right guard.
You got to measure.
From a production standpoint, this Edmonton offense, one of the best in the league over the last couple of years. Jason Moss at the controls. And at the start of this season, they were rolling. I mean, 29.4 points per game, 415 yards per game of offense. And then in the last 2, they've stalled. Now, injuries in the receiving corps to Darrell Walker and Duke Williams being banged up and playing hurt last couple of weeks. That's affected those numbers, but this has been a top-ranked offense. C.J. Gable's an important part, but Jason Moss told us yesterday, if we can't execute the run game, I'm going to put it in the hands of my MOP quarterback. He throws it 45, 50 times, that's okay. We just got to find a way to win and get back on track.
540 stone, 40 stone.
Needed a measurement to confirm that was a first down, but they get a fresh set of downs at the Roughrider 24. Take the Gable, and here's Williams coming across. And again, Nick Marshall unable to bring him down. That's a first down for Williams.
Make your getaway with intelligent all-wheel drive in the 2018 Nissan Qashqai.
So a second catch for Duke Williams.
531. Hey. Slide Rodney. 31. Westfield, our back, 31.
Just 2 completions for Riley in this opening quarter, both to Williams for 41 yards. And a fake there. He gives it to Martese Jackson, who is upended around the 11. So a short gain there sets up 2nd and 8.
Quarter's over, Al.
And that was the final play of the opening quarter. Derek Moncrief with the stop. Thanksgiving Day in a critical matchup. Feels like the playoffs here in October at Mosaic. And they're tied at 3 after 15 minutes.
This program may contain language that could offend some viewers. Discretion is advised.
Game tied at 3. Numbers pretty even in that first quarter.
Yeah, and so is the score. And you know, both teams understand how important this game is this afternoon. And happy Thanksgiving.
Yes,
we
know how important today is.
Yes, and all across Canada. Happy Thanksgiving. Look what we have here, Chris. We have, now I'm going to ask you what your favorite is. Is it white meat or is it dark meat?
I think today it better be dark meat.
Yeah, I think we're looking
a special barbecue turkey. Are you a cranberry guy?
No cranberry. Keep the cranberry out of there.
That does look good, though.
Look at that, baby. Now, this will go to our TSN crew. So we should grab a couple early. But happy Thanksgiving, everybody. All the football fans across the country. Great afternoon. You know, my favorite is actually the leftovers.
Well, with this crew, there's not going to be any leftovers.
There will be no
so
leftovers.
Enjoy the original course today.
Well, I got some white meat for you here. You want a little bit of the drumstick?
Take a drumstick. It's going to be hard waiting till...
Let me get this baby out here.
It's going to be hard waiting till halftime for this.
Not to mention, I didn't get the apron that they got.
No, we didn't get the fancy apron. All right, second and 8. The Eskimos in the red zone, looking to break through here. Riley has some time in the corner and a diving attempt. Hazelton unable to come up with it. So the drive stalls deep, and again, Sean White to the field goal unit. Come on.
Break. Come on, Fidel.
Mike Riley over there to talk to his receiver and Hazelton and ask if he was maybe held and discuss it with Jason Moss, but doesn't look like there will be a challenging and kick a field goal here or a 10-point.
18-yard attempt. The Eskimos have a 6-3 lead. Well, they were really dominated last week by Winnipeg, and they took their lumps. And now Jason Moss knows his team has to respond.
Losing is part of life and part of the game, and you got to learn from it. And we got beat badly. And at the end of the day, it's not really that you get knocked down, it's whether you can get back up or not. And our guys took it on the chin, and they're ready to come back out swinging.
On a Fox, you're going to get...
So the coach reviewing that last drive, back-to-back field goal drives for the Eskimos.
Well, Edmonton has this game, Saskatchewan, then Ottawa, and then BC Winnipeg. So Western teams playing each other down the stretch here.
I mean, a win today, and they are very much back in the conversation for home field, second place finish. But a loss today, and suddenly, this is a team that is going to have to scramble. It's going to be a good team in the West, not make the playoffs. One will cross over, but you've got right now Winnipeg, BC, Edmonton all even in the loss column. Marcus Thigpen on the return, and he gets stonewalled before the 35-yard line.
Whoa.
That was Usher with the big Malamba Chimanga.
Well, it's live mic. Don't need a mic here.
Big-time collision, and Nick Usher got the best of it. So the Riders start at their own 34. Play-action fake, and a pass over the middle is caught. Catch made by Kenny Shaw. Come on. Over 1,000-yard receiver.
Hey, listen up.
Little quick slant, just curls over the middle there.
Y edge, kill Big Jupiter. On a hurry, ready?
12-yard gain for Kenny Shaw and a quick release from Zach Caleros.
2016, he had just over 1,000 yards with the Argos.
Let it roll. Fire. Hurry! Ta-da!
Out of the hands of Caleros quickly, and Williams-Lambert the catch at the 51, brought down by Aaron Grimes.
One of the things that Zach Caleros did real well against Montreal is when Montreal sent Enoch Mwamba or sent blitz, he was able to get rid of the ball quickly.
Hey, listen out. A hollow right soak, 350, ZR stick, X line on one. Ready? Hey, 4x2.
See, when the quarterback says, listen up, everybody in the huddle, and we're in the huddle right now, everyone in the huddle, including me, listens up.
Sit down. Read it, huh?
2nd and 5. Quick hitter, and it is caught. Jack Evans able to hang on, and a first down as he rolls into Edmonton territory. 10-yard pickup.
Right into your living room.
Listen up.
A little bit behind him, but Shaq Evans fights it, picks up the first down.
Little double clutch and a first down at the 50 of the Eskimos. Offenses have been able to sustain drives so far, but haven't finished yet. Here's Mason. Down to the 45 for 5. Mason was 62 against the Eskimos on 7 carries back in August.
That's Frisco still, even if it's a backer or anybody lined up on him, give him a chance, either or. If it's double cut right off the bat and you feel like working the thing.
Rip to mid, weak right, Z pile, 60, Y buck switch, R bow, W option, X clear, X 3 on 1. Ready? You're my hot, Kenny.
So Kenny Shaw's the hot in case the Edmonton Eskimos come with a blitz.
Sit down. Read it, huh?
Here they come. Yep. Got away, but incomplete. Williams-Lambert, the target. Konar was tracking him. Excuse me, Neil King, the safety, was there defensively, and the drive is stopped near midfield.
So you heard that call. Here's Kenny Shaw right here. He's the hot route, and he actually runs a quick slant, but he's picked up nicely in coverage. So with the blitz coming on Zach Caleros, he wanted to go to that hot route on the slant right in the middle there. He couldn't go to it because it was covered well by Aaron Grimes, so he went to the deeper out. Didn't have the time to make an accurate throw on that deep one. But you heard that entire sequence through the mics. Caleros telling you, Shaw, you're the hot route. Couldn't get it to the hot route because of the good coverage by Grimes.
Bartell looking to hit it inside the 10. It'll be brought back out by Martese Jackson. 37-yard punt back to the 16. Mike Edom with the special teams tackle. The Eskimos with the lead here in the second quarter. Thanksgiving Day here in Saskatchewan, and also Military Appreciation Day. The men and women of the Canadian Forces being honored today, and with a special guest, here's Claire Hanna.
Thanks very much, Chris, and I'm joined by Sub-Lieutenant Nicole Henner-Beckler. And Nicole, I know that you studied at the University of Alberta in engineering. You're currently doing your MBA in Fredericton. However, you've chosen a path and you're a naval warfare officer in the Canadian Armed Forces.
Thank you. I chose that path because I wanted to do something that was going to have a positive impact and make a difference, and I thought that serving my country was a really great way to do that.
And I know you said you've been training for 3 years and you're being deployed for the first time this January. What are you hoping to get out of that opportunity?
There's a couple certificates that I need to earn. The best way to describe it is I spent the last few years working on my driver's license for warships, and this deployment will be a 3 or 4 month long driver's exam.
And I know you studied at the University of Alberta, but now you live in Regina, so I think we're all curious to know who you might be edging for in the CFL game.
I like to think that I bleed green.
Oh, good answer right now. Well, thank you very much, Nicole, for your service.
Thank you.
Good luck to Nicole and her deployment, and boy, we have a lot to be thankful for, partner, but the men and women in the military are certainly at the top of the list, especially in today's day and age. And special shout out to the commanding officer of the 417 Squadron, the squadron that I'm involved with in Cold Lake, Alberta. Alexia Hannum is the CO there. And to all of the men and women in the military, thank you for what you do every day and keeping us safe and protecting our way of life. The best of the best.
Best Eskimos have something going here. A completion to Duke Williams after the 12-yard run by Riley inside to C.J. Gable. A flag comes down as Gable into Roughrider territory, pending this flag.
Yeah.
It's on us.
Good job, CJ.
It's on us. It's a face mask, I guess.
Good job, CJ.
Defensive pass interference. Saskatchewan, number 31. This will be a 10-yard penalty. First down.
Penalty against the middle linebacker, Sam Hurl.
He grabbed C.J. Gable as he was trying to get to the screen play here. It was a quick screen. There's Hurl there. He's going to try and come up the field like he's going to go after Mike Riley, and then he reads the screens, tries to go over to get it, and grabs the jersey of C.J. Gable. It's a pass interference call.
Already 6 penalties against Saskatchewan on the day. Calvin McCarty sets up at a tight end spot. First down, Riley throwing the corner route, and Duke Williams can't reel it in. Got a hand on it, but unable to make the catch, and there has been non-stop chatter, and actually it began in the warm-up, as it often does with Duke Williams.
Boy, he got the outside leverage on Nick Marshall, and by the way, this has been the matchup that Chris Jones has gone with. He's again in his secondary matching up personnel, so Nick Marshall has gone wherever Duke Williams goes, wherever he lines up, at wide out or at slot back. Number 3 tracks him. We'll watch that matchup all afternoon.
Gotta go! Gotta go!
Leading receiver in the league, 3 for 52 so far. 2nd and 10, pocket collapsing, but the pass is complete. Bryant Mitchell steps out. Let's see if that's enough for a first down. Looks like he's about a yard short.
Bryant Mitchell timing out. Short side of the field with inside leverage from Purefoy there. This is a great decision by Mike Riley. Throw it to the outside shoulder.
Full yard. And Riley straight ahead's got it.
They don't miss on short yardage because Mike Riley stays in the game. Mike Riley is a big quarterback at 230, 6'3", but it's the want-to factor from number 13 that I think is the reason for the success in short yardage for the Edmonton Eskimos. They have not missed one.
And lots of practice, too. He has sneaked in 12 different times for touchdowns this year.
Off the ball, you're my dick.
First down at the 34. Much different offense than a week ago against Winnipeg. Gable out of the backfield. Further downfield, it's intercepted. And Beatty with his 2nd pick of the year. And the man who led the league in interceptions last year, still going up near midfield before he's dragged down. The first big defensive play for Saskatchewan by the 7-year veteran, and Heaney. 10 interceptions last season. And he has his 2nd of the year. It's Mike Riley and the Eskimos. Shaw Road to the Grey Cup continues with Friday Night Football and a live mic broadcast. Get into the huddle with the Ticats and Argos. The action begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, across the TSN network and in 4K.
Edmonton Eskimos tried to use some change motion to break up that matchup with Nick Marshall on Duke Williams. Didn't work.
15th Rider interception of the year, the 15th thrown by Mike Riley. Best field position start for Coelhos, and he's got an open target. A completion to Kyron Moore down at the Edmonton 35.
It's called a short corner route. It's not that deep throw where you see quarterbacks try to put a lot of air under the ball and have their receiver run under it. It's a short corner, almost like an extended out route, 21-yard gain from Kyron Moore. But that's one that the quarterback has to put it right on and put it in there. He can't put too much air on the ball there, and Neil King makes a play.
7th start for Kyron Moore in this revamped Rough Rider receiving corps. Flag down, and that pass incomplete into the end zone. Let's see if that's a hold against Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I think it is. It'd be something that Chris Jones He's going to talk about at halftime. You can be sure of
Illegal
that.
block. Saskatchewan, number 68, hands to the face. 10-yard penalty remains first down.
Too many penalties for Saskatchewan in this first half.
Hey, we'll come back to that. Listen up. Hey, forget it. Let's go. Execute. Here we go. Listen up. Hey, spread right, 16 wide, S square left. Don't want. Ready? Get some back. Get some back.
Up around the face mask and neck. No question there.
7 penalties first half against the home side, 1st and 20. And they dump it off to Trey Mason, and he gets tripped up. Stiff arm there by Adam Conard. Up in Mason.
Let's go back to that interception by Ed Gainey. And here is Ed Gainey, and the change motion happens down here to get the matchup of Duke Williams on Ed Gainey. I said it was Nick Marshall. Well, Nick Marshall's in behind, so he's going to drop him to Nick Marshall, his teammate. There's Marshall right there. He drops it to get the matchup, and now he can jump that underneath route and takes it the other way. Second interception of the season for Ed Gainey, as you mentioned.
Haven't seen Marcus Thigpen since that big collision on a kick return.
Whoa.
And this play doesn't get off.
Yeah, Williams-Lambert was 5-6 yards down the field.
Offside. Saskatchewan, number 84. 5-yard penalty remains second down.
Hey, here we go. Let's go. Hey, train, spread right. Train, spread right.
So 2nd and 24.
Yep. Hey, fire, fire. Hurry, hurry. Ta-da.
3-man front for Edmonton. Caleros goes it over the middle to Mason. He gets swarmed just beyond the line of scrimmage at the 44-yard line. Now does Chris Jones attempt a 51-yard field goal. Looks like Bartel will come out with the punt team.
Gotta hurry up.
Exactly what Mike Benavides, the defensive coordinator for Edmonton, wanted. He dropped everybody out, rushed just 3, and said to Zach Caleros, throw it underneath, and we'll rally to the tackle. Interesting what J.C. Sherrod said about his defensive coordinator yesterday to us, saying he's a great players coach, but also a real pro. Sometimes it's unusual to get both from one coach.
3rd straight punt after an opening possession field goal. Martine Jackson going the wrong way, and Jordan Reeves brings him down deep in Edmonton territory. Long field for Mike Riley and the Eskimos. See how he bounces back after the interception on the last series for Edmonton. 4th third position start for Edmonton, back at their 8th. In a hornet's nest here. Off to Gable. Great run by C.J. Gable. And some breathing room and a first down after a 13-yard run.
40 right.
Bring Mike Keatum. Mike Keatum is lined up basically in the depth chart as a safety, but he doesn't really play safety. He plays more of that tweener linebacker. He's up there, and Samuel Guavin gets blocked. It's Edom that's got to try and track C.J. Gable down from the safety spot, really the linebacker spot. He steps up and plays in the box.
Eskimos have 67 yards rushing, 63 passing so far in his opening half. Pocket collapsing on Riley. Makes the first man miss, but down he goes. He gets dropped. Sack number 15 for the league leader, Charleston Hughes.
And he's back on track. I mentioned just 1 sack in the last 4 games, but that was last week. So Charleston Hughes has now got back-to-back games with a sack, and he's back at it. I mean, he started the season on fire, put together that huge lead. There have been a few that have closed the gap.
114th career.
That was his Thanksgiving celebration. Gobble, gobble.
23rd sack against an Edmonton quarterback in his career. Eagle on the drop. And he gets contained. Edom, Topi Antigua. And the Eskimos will have to punt it away.
162 games, 114 sacks for Charleston Hughes in his career, and there are the leaders in the Canadian Football League.
Looks like he's going to lead the league for a third consecutive year. Head-to-head against Edmonton, his career record 23-7. Shaq Evans is back. And there's Evans running across midfield and into Edmonton territory. A 42-yard punt, and he brings it back to the 42. So great field position, although a flag has been tossed. In fact, a couple of markers on the field, so let's sort them out. Flipped the field and
didn't result in any
Major
points.
Foul, unnecessary roughness. Edmonton, number 41. 15 yards at the end of this play. First down, Saskatchewan.
Money Hunter with a costly penalty. It's to the Eskimo 31.
For what? Anybody see that?
So the net after the penalty, 11 yards on that exchange. And a right to Brian Jones, a costly one. And that pass incomplete. Kenny Shaw unable to hang on as we hit the 3-minute warning. And low scoring on Thanksgiving, 6-3 Edmonton. Caleros came off the 6-game disables list against Edmonton. He threw for 261 and a loss, but since then he has been rolling and looking like the Zach Caleros we were used to.
Absolutely. This is the most important stat, and that's what every quarterback will tell you, the win-loss record, and it's there for Zach Caleros, winning 6 of his last 7. He wants to improve that touchdown-interception ratio, of course, but had that breakout game against Montreal with almost 400 yards passing. His best in the last 31 starts.
Let it roll, let it roll. Let it roll, let it roll. Fire, fire. Hurry, hurry.
Looking at 2nd and 10. Stands in over the middle and a great knockdown by the safety, Neil King.
Great close on the ball. Great play in 2 ways. One, to get his left hand on the football and tip it away, but also not to pull down the intended target, who is Williams Lambert right here. He's going to go right down the post to that safety. Neil King had to play both the post and then break on the ball, but the right hand as important as the left, so he doesn't twist William Lambert and draw a penalty flag.
Second game back off the 6th game for King. Here's Lowther putting it up. And good. Game is tied with 2:31 to go in this opening half. Fourth Thanksgiving Day game for Edmonton, but only their 3rd visit to Saskatchewan. We're here in 1962 and 2011. But a huge game for the Eskimos
He's lining up
here today, and equally important for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. No advantage yet, as Edmonton scrimmages from their 35. Eagle. Just a couple inside.
Eagle.
Lots of time for both these teams to grab some momentum here with some late points in the first half. Mike Riley with the second down. If he converts this, keeps it going, can put some on. If the Riders get the stop, they're in decent field position to do the same.
No touchdowns last week for the Eskimos offense, and have yet to hit pay dirt in the opening half here. They struggled on 2nd down. 2nd and 7. And going to take a deep shot here for Hazelton gesturing as if he'd like a challenge.
Now Moncrief can run with receivers, but this is a matchup that I think that Mike Riley wanted to get to because he's got a wideout or a slot back up against technically a linebacker. Now Moncrief can run. You can see he's right in his hip pocket, making it a very, very difficult catch for Hazelton to come up with. He wanted a penalty, but I would say you leave the flag in your pocket there if you're official. Good no call because there was a little pushing both ways.
So Hugh O'Neill punts, line drive blast. Evans back at his 26. And ran into his old man, and Money Hunter, who brings down Evans back around the 26-yard line. Well, we're live, Mike, today and each week on CFL Wired.
I need your best, Johnny. I need your best today, boy. I need your best today.
So what we got? You can't go around tackle. What can you do? What can you do, bro? Let's go!
Catch it Thursday at 12 a.m., 9 Pacific on TSN2.
Sit on! Green A! Green A, huh?
Riders from their 26. And Caleros lost the football. Adam Konar's on it. And Edmonton comes up with a big takeaway.
Yard line.
Alex Bazzi forces the fumble, and the Eskimos take it over deep.
Alex Bazzi has been tough to block in this game this afternoon. There he is in the spotlight. He's coming off the edge, working on Thaddeus Coleman, and he gets up the field, gets that right arm underneath, and is ripping through the block, basically being held around the neck. He strips it out of Zach Caleros' hand, and Adam Konar comes up with the fumble recovery, but we've talked a couple of times about Alex Bazzi getting in the backfield.
90, X-slide Leah, Y-R crush.
So the turnovers even at one apiece.
And there's
guys have been practicing.
Gotta see the look.
First down, fake to Gable, dumps it off to Hazelton, not going anywhere. Derek Moncrief on the scene again.
Feels right, feels right.
You get up the field, you can just destroy it all. And this time it's Samuel Aguavin from this side, just causing havoc in the backfield. He's working beside Charleston Hughes. They're just getting up the field and causing problems. And it just takes the timing away from Mike Riley trying to execute a play offensively.
Loss of 3, second and 13. Riley gets it away, open target there, and Kenny Stafford can't make the catch.
Well, went back to that deep out to the left side and the short side of the field. That's the one that Ed Gainey got the pick on the last play. This time it's Derek Moncrief working right there on Stafford. Stafford coming out of the backfield, coming out of that slot back spot, and he's a little change motion with Fidel Hazelton. Puts the brakes on, the route's there, the ball's thrown high. Can't reel it in.
So a hold for the Saskatchewan defense. John White from 42 yards out, trying to put Edmonton back in front. And he does. 9-6 Eskimos. With 66 seconds remaining in this opening half.
That little shake of the head from Mike Riley knows
that one back.
Needs to bring it down just a little bit, and he's got a completion, new set of downs there, but
he comes down and gets him. He gets the next guy.
So when both teams have taken over on the other side of the half, they have had to settle for field goals. See if Caleros can generate the tying points or maybe the go-ahead points before this half's done.
Green A! Green A, huh? Try.
Dumps it off to Mason.
Did you hear that?
Get escorted out of bounds.
I'm not sure if you heard that live mic'd up or not, but as Zach Caleros is breaking out of the pocket there, he's yelling, Trey. Mason wasn't looking at him, and he wanted to dump the ball off to him.
Got a flag at the end of that. Let's find out what that's all about. And the indication against Saskatchewan.
Yeah, take them back. I got it.
So they're going to take them back and
blocking downfield before a pass is caught across the line of scrimmage. Saskatchewan, number 1. 10-yard penalty remains first down.
And Jason Moss perhaps thinking, we get a quick stop here. We might get field position and time for a play or two.
His first down again, though, so see how much time Zach.
Clock stops.
Read it! Read it!
First and 20. Over the middle, and a connection made at the 40-yard line. That's a 15-yard play, and Kenny Shaw brought it down. A little slow to get up after that catch, but Shaw's made an immediate impact in this Saskatchewan offense.
Zach Collaros has to put this right in that spot around the coverage of Aaron Grimes and Adam Konar. If the timing is off by a split second there, that's going the other way. What a throw from Zach Collaros.
Shaw, 3 catches, 51 to lead the receiving corps so far today. So second and 5. Catch made by Shaw. Did he? No, he did not get a foot down. They really got out of bounds at the Saskatchewan bench. Would have been a 20-yard play if the footwork was right.
Should be able to get in the field goal range.
Well, we'll take a look. He's in the air there. I don't think so. It looked like that left toe came down on the white stripe. Maybe this will be.
Tried to toe tap the left foot, but.
Get him off.
But the official right played Dave Hawkshaw. He did not get it down. Clock stopped. Bartell with the punt. Martese Jackson takes this at the 34. This is a 37-yard punt, but the cover team gets it done, led by Chad Jeter. So 22 seconds remaining for Mike Riley here in the opening half.
Turbo 6.
Under 50% completion percentage.
Huddle up, huddle up, huddle up, huddle up.
Yeah, 6 of 14, 60 yards. Again, not.
What you got here?
Listen up.
Not Riley-like numbers.
No, not at all. And
hey, we're on the right hash here, right? It's turbo 6.
All right, here we go.
So it's going to be 17 to Y. Or if I kill it, then it's 18 to X. Turbo 6, silent, silent. Ready? Take 48. Here. Take 48. If I kill it, it's take 49.
Career or season low 164 last week. Only 13 completions the last time he faced Saskatchewan. He has 6 here in the first half. Fake to Gable is going to call his own number, and it opens up here. Here's Riley. Took a hit at the 47-yard line.
Well, there's one matchup, though, that I think Mike Riley and Jason Moss really want. When they ISO Vidal Hazelton,
back's right.
He is covered by Derek Moncrief because Chris Jones is matching up personnel, as I mentioned. I know they want to go to that, but Vidal Hazelton has got to win that matchup for them to do it.
50 yards rushing for Riley. Needs more yards passing, and not here. Willie Jefferson, Charleston Hughes take him down back at the 38. Dominant defensive ends have a meeting at the quarterback.
And they got 3-man pressure up front. We'll see if Toby Antigua comes late. No, he's spying Riley, so just 3-man pressure against 5, and that crushes you. Jason Moss actually mentioned that to us yesterday. He said, boy, you know, if you get 3-man pressure and it gets there, it's very difficult for the quarterback. There's just not many windows down the field with all that coverage back there.
Defense dictating here in the opening half. The Eskimos take a knee to finish the opening 30 minutes of play. Just field goals in that opening 30 minutes. 9-6 Edmonton as we join Rod Smith and the guys.
This program may contain coarse language, then some viewers' discretion is advised.
Defense dictating so far on Thanksgiving Day in Saskatchewan, where the visiting Eskimos have a 3-point lead, and Claire Hanna is standing by with Charleston Hughes.
Charleston Hughes, a pretty fitting celebration with your turkey dance. You got to Mike Riley once. How important is it to put pressure on this Eskimos offense?
You really got to put pressure on Mike Riley because you can't let him get comfortable in the pocket. We set out all week to really focus on getting to the quarterback, and that's what we've been doing all day.
Charleston, you're only trailing by 3. What was the message at halftime heading into the second part?
Just keep doing what we're doing and chopping wood, and then, we'll come out on top at the end.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Not much between the two teams in the opening half. Chris Jones's offense, 131 yards. The Eskimos' offense generated 133. So 2 yards difference, 3 points difference as we get set. But 10 quarters now for the Eskimos in which they have really not been the same Edmonton offense we're used to seeing. So underway second half, Roughriders will get the ball first. And there's Marcus Thigpen back for the first touch since a kick return earlier in the game when he got shaken up. And Caleros leads the Roughriders offense back to onto the field as you check his numbers from 30 minutes.
Hey, listen up, listen up, listen up. Here we go. Come on. Hey, Fib, empty left, 350 X-Hawk, S-Seam, Z-Chico on the reload. Ready? Chico.
Reload will be that stop motion.
Hurry.
Stop. Reload.
Let it roll. Fire. Hurry. Sit down.
Out of his hands quickly into the hands of Shaq Evans. It's a first down on the opening offensive play of the second half, and a flag comes down right at the end of the play after a 12-yard pickup.
Good.
One of the back officials throwing that flag late.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Edmonton, number 47.
What is the call?
15 yards at the end of the play, automatic first down.
That was against J.D. Sherritt. Jason Moss thought it was going the other way.
There's Sherritt right in the middle of your screen.
Hey, listen up. Hey, quads left sock, squeeze out. 50, S option, X cat, Z Chico line.
That's going to be called. That was called in the BC game, a similar
squeeze
hit to the head, even if you lead with your shoulder.
So a net of 27 on that play.
Read it, huh?
First down, Edmonton 51. Again, out of his hands quickly. That's Devin Bailey, the former Eskimo, with his first catch and another first down. So the
5R.
Roughriders look sharp out of the gate here in the second half.
5R is 5 receivers.
Hey, here we go.
Spotlight outside on Bailey.
Spread left floor, 50, X bullseye, S clear. Z Chico switch on one, ready? I'll send you. Get into 33.
Big target, just his 9th catch of the year.
3 receivers out left. Now he gets empty set.
Read it.
Thigpen lines up as a wide out. Might be looking that way. No, underneath it goes Evans. Sidestep Sherritt. It is dropped around the 33-yard line. Close to 8 more.
That's what they did against Montreal, Saskatchewan offensively to try and get their offense rolling, is to get the quick game going. Quick slants, quick ends.
Yeah, right hash. Here we go. Listen up. A spread left.
The way to take it away
45
for Edmonton is to play press coverage and straight man-to-man. See if they go to that, especially as they approach the green zone here.
Sit on. Green it.
Second and about a yard and a half, just 16 yards rushing in the opening half. And Mason's going to lose yardage here. He is dropped by Bazzi back at the 35-yard line.
And Bazzi is having an outstanding football game. Picks up where he left off in the first half. He just
stay outside.
Stays up,
count him up.
keeps his contain, keeps his hands strong so that he can keep from getting tied up in that block, and then just steps into Trey Mason.
So here's Lowther from 43 yards out, trying to match the 3 field goals of Sean White so far today. And down the middle for him. Just short of the 3-minute mark here in the third quarter. And it's been all threes, 9-9. Eskimos have been assessed the most penalty yardage this season of any team, but only 3 penalties for Jason Moss's crew in the first half, with more on the improved discipline. Here's Claire.
Well, Chris, you kind of hinted at it, but through the first 10 games of this season, the Eskimos were averaging 12 penalties a game. It was something that head coach Jason Moss deemed unacceptable, but he felt there were only really 2 ways you could discipline the team. That was through money and time. He elected to, during practice, if there were any infractions or penalties made, he decided to take plays in real games away from the players. Almondo Sewell once was offside in practice, and he didn't get to play for the first 15 plays of the following game, and he felt that since then it's been effective. They've been averaging less than 6 penalties a game since they did that in week 11.
And 4 penalties so far in the game.
465. Yeah, less than half of the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the first half. It really has made a difference. I mean, the players self-governed a little bit. They have a fine system, but that's the players' decision. That doesn't come from the organization and the coaching staff. And then if Jason Moss still sees an issue, he'll bench you.
Second and long, pocket collapsing. Riley on a roll, and now tosses to Williams for a first down catch out at the Eskimo bench.
Yeah, and I would like to also add to that, because Jason Moss, I thought, did a real good thing about 6 weeks ago. He went on local radio in Edmonton and basically said it starts with me, because we have seen Moss many times get very emotional on that sideline. In fact, loses temper at times. We've seen the water bottles fly and things like that. He knows that he's got to rein in that behavior and be a good example to the rest of the team. It trickles downhill.
4 catches for Duke Williams. Riley will dump it off, and Williams has some blocking, and is close to another first down as he crosses midfield.
It's one of the ways that Edmonton can get Duke Williams more involved. You heard Milt Stegall talk about it at halftime, to get it to number 81. Some change motions, some dump passes, try and get that bunch formation so that the matchup that they're playing against, Nick Marshall, may get caught in the wash somehow, so you can run some picks and rubs to try and get 81 open.
73 yards on the day for Williams, so 1,400 for the season. Tops in the league. Late handoff to Gable, and C.J. Gable with a second effort run for 9.
It is unique, though. It's very unique for Chris Jones to have a defensive system where his DBs don't play necessarily corner, halfback, safety. They play a man, and if he's in the slot, they're a halfback. If he's at the outside wide receiver position, they're a corner that play.
Saw Calvin McCarty lead the rush, and on a sneak, you mentioned how automatic. Look at now.
Oh yeah. Oh, he goes and gets it.
Yeah, got almost 4 yards on that quarterback sneak this time off the left side behind big Travis Bond.
Of course, Chris Jones knows Mike Riley very well, his starting quarterback when Jones was the head coach in Edmonton in 2015 for that Grey Cup championship. And he said, we know we're going to get Mike Riley's best, his best effort.
8-5 as the starting Edmonton quarterback against Saskatchewan. 6-0 head-to-head against Zach Collaros. Riley can't find anybody. Got to step up, and he'll get punished for that. Dropped around the 37 as Purifoy moves up from his defensive halfback position. McHenry in on the tackle.
Well, let's take a look at the eligible receivers, because Riley brought in some help here. There's the 3 receivers that he really has. So if you run that now and you see that none of those guys were open, he had time to throw the football. He's sitting in that pocket. Coverage up here with a high man just in case it's overthrown. Too deep, it's called cover 2 man. You're man-to-man underneath with 2 over the top to help you on the deep ball, and Mike Riley ate it.
Second down conversions have been an issue. 3 for 11. Here comes the heat. Riley in some trouble. Got away from Hughes, but is still taken down. It looks like Eddie Steele, the former Edmonton Eskimo, will get his second sack of the year.
When you play in the middle beside a guy like Willie Jefferson and Charleston Hughes, premier pass rushers, this is going to happen. You can have a year where a year where you're going to get some numbers because there's so much attention paid to those rush ends, and Hughes had the first crack at it.
John White, 13 of 16 from beyond the 40 this year. This from 45. With Marcus Thigpen, so dangerous waiting if he misses. With a hold, but White doesn't flinch. And it's 4 field goals for White, 3 for Lowther, and a 12-9 green and gold lead. The most popular sci-fi series of all time is back with a new Doctor, and she's ready for an epic season of adventure. Doctor Who, all new Sundays at 8 Eastern, only on Space. Well, both teams score on their opening possessions of this second half. But the defense is still running the show.
Sit on! Read it! Read it!
Claros has time. Little jump there. Point guard toss to Spencer Moore, the fullback. 8th catch of the year for the McMaster product. And a pickup of 6 yards.
Hey, here we go, 5 more. Hey, hollow right soap, 350 ZR stick, X line, on 1, ready? Out.
Claros 15 of 20 so far today. 162 yards. They're 4 for 11 in second down conversions. And Williams Lambert's going to convert here.
I want to show you why Zach Collaros ran this type of play. It's a little curl inside of his zone because that's Trey Mason right there. If there's no linebacker out there covering Trey Mason, then he knows it's a zone look. And he'll just throw it into that curl zone in between the 2 linebackers. He knows he's getting zone because no linebacker tracked Trey Mason to the sideline.
45 hack, W limbo on 1, ready? Hurry up, hurry up.
Get all the way over.
Sit on!
Go all the way over.
Read it! Read it, huh?
Here's Mason stepping up. J.C. Sherritt wrestles him down. 5-yard pickup to the 55.
Boy, great season for J.C. Sherritt. We talked many times about his leadership, but his numbers this year are outstanding. 88 defensive plays. That ranks number 5 in the Canadian Football League. 3 sacks to that coming in. 4 tackles for losses. I mean, the guy's been all over the field. Boy, and is he great to talk to before the game, too, about football.
2 by 3.
6th tackle of the game for Sherritt.
Sit on! Read it! Read it!
Just about on a 100 tackle pace. Second down, Collaros, Williams Lambert. Big catch at the Edmonton 42 and some extra yards. Big target.
Yeah, and then, you know, that almost looked like a mistake from the Saskatchewan receiving corps to have all 3 of those receivers that close together in the same area. But Collaros found a way to get it in there. There were 3 receivers.
He didn't step out on that sideline and fought for extra yardage. Four catches for Williams Lambert.
Read it! Read it!
Play action fake. Can air this up. Wants Devin Bailey. And batted down. Nice tight coverage there from Forrest Hightower.
Tried to change it up. Collaros brought in tight end formation, so he had double tights, just 3 receivers, and then faked it to Trey Mason. That's a running set and a double tight look, and he goes to fakes it to Trey Mason and goes to Bailey down the sideline.
Here we go. Hey,
Hightower was not fooled.
Howard on 1, ready?
Hey, Gibby, play 7.
Mason to the sidelines. Thigpen back in. 2nd and 10 as they try to keep this drive alive.
Read it! Read it, huh?
Collaros directing traffic, going to take it himself. And he'll get stopped short of the first down. Dropped around the 29, needed the 27. as Adam Konar closed down with help from J.C. Sherritt.
Well, he had Konar and J.C. Sherritt they are going after him here. So good decision, even though he's short of the first down. You don't want your quarterback taking a big hit like he may have taken if he stayed upright here. They were both coming after him.
Speaking of decisions, 3rd and 2, and they're going to keep the offense on the field going for it.
Nick Marshall or Watford?
David Watford has come in. Big team in for Chris Jones.
Nick Marshall is their 3rd and 1 guy.
It is Nick Marshall with Watford. I'll give you a couple things to think about, but it is Marshall trying to get outside. Looked like he got held up. He does get outside, but there is a flag. Let's find out. Money Hunter was in pursuit, and it looked held up.
Well, you wonder when Nick Marshall gets the edge this cleanly, there is always a contained man defensively.
Holding, Saskatchewan, number 84, before yards regained, 10-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Is it from the spot? No,
There he is right up at the top left corner of your screen. Williams Lambert.
What do you got?
And he grabs the shoulder pad, the jersey of Hunter. And that's why Nick Marshall, that was right at the point of attack, why Nick Marshall got.
So they march it back 10. Ball at the 38. I'm going to line this up from 46 out. Lowther continues the quest to match White kick for kick. This one up, missed it. First miss of the day, Martese Jackson is coming out. Jackson over the 20, dragged down around the 23-yard line. Taken down by Josiah St. John, but the first miss of the day, and it remains 12-9. Well, happy Thanksgiving to all of you, and happy Thanksgiving to our crew who have dug in here at Mosaic, and not much left of the bird.
Even right down on the field. Yeah, it's gone. It is flat out gone.
Okay, guys, no napping now.
Yeah.
Back to work.
The tryptophan's kicking in. The cameras start going into slow motion.
Fake to Gable and a completion over the middle. Kenny Stafford's got a catch. Ed Gainey the tackle, just the 9th completion of the day for Mike Riley.
Well, inside slant route here, he just realized it was a man covered, so he doesn't sit down and keeps running across the middle.
13-yard pickup, just 93 passing yards for Edmonton so far on the day, with under 3 to go in the 3rd quarter. Another fake to Gable. Hazelton can't hang on. Is that a long football? Mike Edam's got it, but they're ruling play dead, and it did look like a forward pass.
Vidal Hazelton is fighting the football today. He's having his issues. They've had some matchups where Mike Riley felt it was favorable for the Edmonton Eskimos, went to him. He's dropped a couple, has not been able to get any separation.
I think we got him at 3 drops. Yeah, to state the obvious, they missed Darrell Walker, who had 6 for 154 in the first meeting. But there's a lot of teams that miss some of their key targets.
Yeah, absolutely.
65 with a ball.
Just ask the Calgary Stampeders. Here comes Heat. Going to unload this deep. Hazelton, can he bring that down? He got it. And that just made up for a couple of the drops big time.
That's that matchup that they've been trying to get to with Derek Moncrief. And I mentioned again that Moncrief can run, but they're going to try this linebacker on receiver matchup on a deep ball. It's a couple of times they've tried it. He makes the big catch. Ifti coming over the top in Matt Elam, a 40-yarder.
Biggest play for Hazelton on the season. Here's Gable ahead for about 4.
So their mics are on. I'm wondering if our mics are live in their helmets. And Hazelton heard us say that he's been fighting it a little bit this afternoon. Went out there and said, here, let me show you. I mean, that's what good players do. They go back in there, even if they're having a tough game. And when it's on the line, they got to make a play. They make it. And that's Hazelton coming up with it in double coverage there.
777. 777.
Eskimos' best offensive play of the day. He had 5 catches last week. Last year, 709 yards, isn't it? 2nd and 7. Pocket collapsing. Riley hit. Jump ball, and it's picked up by Nick Marshall. Took it away. And Marshall this time wins the battle against his old teammate, Duke Williams. He has 2 return touchdowns this year. He gets dragged down there by Bryant Mitchell, but that's the 2nd Saskatchewan interception of the day. And 80 in the first half. Nick Marshall here with his 3rd. On Turkey Day, a bit of a duck, and Marshall brings it down.
Uchez Purifoy is going to provide the pressure on Mike Riley on that last throw. And Chris, you mentioned it came out of his hand. It looked like a duck coming out of there. That's not like Mike Riley. And watch Purifoy get there. And as he's trying to throw and follow, he gets right on the arm and doesn't allow Riley to follow through on the throw. It comes out of there like a wobbling duck, and Nick Marshall at the other end gets a little tip drill going right to himself. Another interception, his 3rd of the season. Got a nice job on Duke Williams today.
I love you, baby. AJ was good.
3 interceptions on the year for the former Auburn quarterback. Mike Riley with a pair of interceptions last week. And now head-to-head again in his career. 16 interceptions and 16 touchdown passes. Mason, and they haven't been able to get this established today, have they? Mondo Sewell has plugged it up.
Tough to run in the interior of this D-line in Edmonton. They stuff it up pretty good in the middle. He just cuts inside, and he's not just bull rushing his guy in front of him, his offensive lineman. He sometimes can beat him. He's so quick for being such a big man in there.
Did we not get that last play?
Trey Mason, 7 carries, 17 yards.
Berkeley.
Big Pen checks in.
Sit down. Green it, huh?
2nd long. Zach steps up, directs traffic. Look at as Evans comes back for the football. And they're going to rule a catch. The Eskimo bench trying to appeal that.
All right, they'll be punting in the win, though.
Zach Evans coming off a season-high game against Montreal. Big catch there.
First down grab. So the Roughriders down by 3. Was it a catch?
Ooh.
No, he did hang on. At 3.
This program may contain coarse language that could offend some viewers. Discretion is advised.
There's a look at the numbers. The Roughriders with an edge in passing yards, but they trailed by 3 as the defenses continue to dominate. And this is basically what the offenses have looked like through 3/4 of this game.
Yeah, I'm ready. You know, this is a game that I wish that we could do it in sweatpants.
Yeah.
You know, when you just at the end of that great Thanksgiving dinner and you want to just sit down and loosen up the drawers. And
I told you that leftovers weren't going to be an idea here.
Yeah.
Out with our crew finishing it off.
That turkey had no shot.
No chance. And I noticed the dessert table didn't either.
No. 20-pounder gone.
Let it roll, let it roll.
15 minutes left.
Let it roll.
Of regulation time here.
Fire. Hurry. Sit up.
Critical game for both squads, and got away from Caleros and the intended target, Shaq Evans.
Yeah, Shaq Evans ran the wrong route. You could tell from Zach Caleros, he gave him the route. He turned around and said, that's a 5. So he wanted it out, not a curl to the inside. And
hey, football spread right.
Kind of return.
Puts him in 2nd and long.
Hurry.
And the football's
Hey,
called
60.
on the line.
Fresno. 60, Fresno. Hey, fire.
Well, that might be good.
Hurry.
Second and 10. Stands it over the middle. Williams Lambert couldn't hang on and took a lick. Looked like that pass was dropped before the contact at the end of it.
Let's take a look. Did that ball come out? It was a hit by J.C. Sherritt. Really just both like two-handed him almost in the chest. I don't even think he got his shoulder or his, well, maybe his helmet a little bit, but it was the face mask for sure. Just looked like he's down and slow to get up because of how he hit the turf, not of how he got hit by Sherritt.
And now they are throwing a flag.
After the play, objectional conduct, Edmonton, number 41. This is a 10-yard penalty and will result in a first down, Saskatchewan.
After the play.
What are you?
And Hunter having a animated discussion with the officials about it. Well, that was long after the play.
Well,
we talked about discipline then.
I think Jason Moss wants to make sure he's got the right number. Money Hunter's getting an earful there from his head coach and has actually been benched. I'm not sure if that got to air or not. There were obviously some colorful language in there, but when what we could hear, something was said, was it the right number and was it Hunter? Because he was pleading his case like he didn't do anything.
And Williams Lambert agitated as
and Money Hunter was nowhere near the hit on Williams Lambert. He wasn't even part of that. That was well after the play was over.
Well, did they march off yardage or just?
Yeah, but
10 yards.
He was 5 yards away. I don't know.
Well, it's a new set of downs.
If he did say it, it's.
Sit down.
So first down up at the 53.
Costly penalty.
Evans with the catch. And brought down by Mercy Maston.
Hey, my bad, Shaq. Good catch. Good job.
Saskatchewan goes down and scores here. That's a real costly penalty. They were off the field.
Yep.
Well after the whistle, and we talked about the improvement in that area from the Edmonton Eskimos and how they've cut it way down, but that's one that, well, it cost Hunter.
Right, squeeze out 51, S option, S-cat, Zichigo line. Hurry up, I'm on, ready?
He's still not sure what happened there.
Yeah, S option, go ahead.
And as we've seen a few times this year, a BC penalty in a game against Calgary comes to mind. Good teams make them pay for those kind of mistakes. That pass caught. It's catch by Thigpen when it looked like Adam Konar had a shot at the interception.
Outstanding concentration from Marcus Thigpen here. He has to make a real tough catch on a second down conversion play. This is a money play. Take a look at this reverse angle just to the right of your screen.
Was that your knee that hit mine? You straight?
Maintain concentration, take the hit, survive contact with the ground, keep control. Mission accomplished for Marcus Thigpen.
Man, this is an issue. Almondo Sewell getting attention. He's out for at least 3 plays, and that will be a big hole in the front of the Edmonton Eskimo defense. We'll be right back. Ball continues tonight. It's Washington and New Orleans. Drew Brees chasing NFL history tonight. Our coverage begins at 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific across the TSN network. Go to footballliveshere.com for a complete broadcast schedule.
Our producer John Hines taking the Saints in the pool on that one.
We don't care about that. Who's his wife taking?
Yeah, she's on a roll. She's on the pool too.
Read it!
First and 10. And Trey Mason tripped up. They try to run against the front without Armando Sewell, and J.C. Sherritt steps up.
Well, we've talked about the importance of this game for both teams. I mean, the Edmonton Eskimos could quickly find themselves on the outside looking in if they don't hang on to this lead. Saskatchewan's wanting to lock up a home field playoff game.
Hey! Who's up?
Ninth play of this penalty extended drive.
Hey, Bumperino. Hey, fire! Hurry! Sit up!
Brian Jones in a receiver position. And Calero's going deep. Got it in. It's knocked down. Money Hunter looked like he got a hand on it and saved the day and helped bail himself out after the penalty that kept the offense on the field.
Yeah, he does make the plays. He's in that trail position. You can see that there's some separation from Kenny Shaw here, but
Shaw's helmet.
It bounced off the top of his helmet.
Bring it out, Dave. Let's go.
Just couldn't make the adjustment to widen a little bit more because can't throw it any better.
Get that next, Mike. Get that next.
Not close to the first touchdown of the day, and now it's Lowther attempting a 50-yarder, 3 for 3 from 50 yards or up, and this one is short. And Martese Jackson sidesteps, and he's still going up to the 35, so back-to-back misses for Lowther. This one comes up short from 50.
It's Phil, our engineer back there, getting a sandwich in the truck. Franklin, our director, and where's the guy who made the pick on the breeze? There's Steve B back there, our ISO director. Whoa, man.
Jeez.
Okay, the award for the best attack of a sandwich. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving day with family. C.J. Gable, short yardage here. Is anybody going to break through for a major score today?
Well, these defenses, right when Mike Riley was getting a couple drives going, they got picked off. One by Nick Marshall most recently, the other by Ed Gainey early on in the game.
Both interceptions coming in scoring territory.
Yeah.
To the near side for Williams, trying to shake the tackle. Marshall, who won't let him by, and it will be third down. Looks like third and at least 2, and Jason Marshall has the one team on in a hurry.
Nick Marshall limping a little bit on that. Like he may have limped back to the huddle a little bit there. Like he may be struggling a little bit. In fact, he's looking like he needs to get off.
Wind at the back of O'Neill here, and the Eskimos in the fourth quarter, and one of the reasons that 50-yarder by Lowther comes up short. And this one launched. Big pin from his 18. He gets surrounded. The punt cover teams have got the job done today. Ball back to the 23-yard line. Corey Jones in on the tackle. Let's see what happened to Marshall here. On a solid tackle of Duke Williams. Time for our Shaw connection of the game.
Well, he struggled most of the afternoon, but Vidal Hazelton has made the catch of the game so far for the Edmonton Eskimos. It was taking a hit down the rail and a 40-yarder for 15.
Mike Riley, 138 yards passing, 78 on 2 plays. The 40-yarder to Hazelton, a 30 to Duke Williams, and now Zach Caleros trying to kickstart the Roughriders offense. A pass over the middle, caught by Shaw. J.C. Sherritt there on the tackle once again. And Sherritt now with his 7th tackle of the day.
Mondo Sewell is back in the game. He left with looked like a cramp.
Hey, listen up. Hey,
waited his 3 plays, so he's back in the interior in this key second down.
Keep it high.
Zach, by the way, has moved up one rung on the all-time quarterback passing list. He's gone by former Rough Rider Reggie Slack today. Second down. A fastball over the middle. Rope there, complete to Kenton.
Couple things turn out well here for Zach Collaros to get this ball in there, because again, he's got to throw it right here in a real small spot, a tight window, and he fits it in. But look at the throwing lane he's got because of the alignment from Mike Benavides' defense. He really widened and opened up the middle, and that allowed Zach Collaros to hit Shaw right in that hole. Look at how many defenders are around him.
Boy, without naming Roosevelt, what a key pickup it appears to be. Inserting Shaw into this lineup. 1st and 10. Toss forward to Thigpen right at the line of scrimmage. He gets buried, and Sherritt's on the seat. Partner in crime, Adam Konar.
J.C. Sherritt, yesterday I said, when the game's on the line, what do you guys like to do on defense? What do you hang your hat on? He said, we want to rush 4, play man, shut them down with help over the top. We want to get in those matchups and say, we're going to cover our guys, and we believe in that. So we'll see if they come up with a man look here. It's a key down and 2nd and long.
Sit down. Read it.
2nd and 9. And Collaros has incomplete. Brian Jones, the former Argo, just missed that connection. And the punt team comes on for the Rough Riders.
Yeah, it's tough when you just haven't been targeted all game long and then are expected to make a big one. But you can see Collaros shaking his head, because that was a big drop, because it looked like his man, I think it was Chris Edwards, tons of room. So Collaros throws a curl. Can't hang on to it.
But again, it appears the wind at the backs of the Eskimos in this 4th quarter. Jackson, 4-yard penalty. 36-yard punt. They will add 5 forward for Riley. Midway through the 4th quarter, nursing this 3-point lead. Well, it's really not about our turkey dinner. It's about this kind of thing, like the Eskimos serving turkey dinner to those less fortunate at the Hope Mission this week. Our hats off to the guys for doing that.
That happens across the league. Every team is going to go out in the community and help out where they can.
Big drive here in the 4th quarter for Mike Riley and company, and not going anywhere here. He is dropped again. This time the middle linebacker, Sam Hurl, gets home. That's the 4th sack for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and the 1st of the year for the 7-year veteran out of Calgary.
Yeah, he's working on a little bit of a change here, where he's going to switch up with the interior defensive lineman, Mac Henry, and just a bit of a cross in action there, and he's just full rushes up until he gets to Mike Riley, shuts it down.
Incomplete, intended for Gable. And the head coach fired up about that series, the 5th 2-and-out of the day for the Edmonton offense.
And tried to go to the screen to C.J. Gable. It was just shut down, not only by the pressure on Riley, but Toby Antigua, number 0 in the middle of your screen there. He's going to take C.J. Gable out of the backfield, steps up the field, then he reads it, and he's out there with C.J. Gable, so even if he catches it, he and Moncrief are there to make the tackle.
High snap, a line drive boot. Here's Kyron Moore, the dangerous Kyron Moore, but upended there. Calvin McCarty, the 12-year vet, with the tackle.
Found a lower price on tires? We'll match it, guaranteed.
left sore. 50 X bullseye. S clear. Z Chico switch lag. On one. Ready?
Both teams have been quiet in the fourth quarter of late. In fact, Jason Moss's team has not scored in the fourth quarter of their last 3 games, and not today. Here's Caleros. Brian Jones has got that first catch of the year. J.C. Sherritt wrestles him down at midfield. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Just second,
Interesting that even in the heat of the battle here this afternoon, Caleros goes back to Jones after he dropped the last one. Can't tell you how important that is for Brian Jones and his confidence.
And again, Nick Marshall comes in short yardage because he is not listed as a quarterback. They also have to have a quarterback on the field, and it's David Watford. And they go straight ahead for the first down yardage. Often wonder that field position 2nd and 1, whether you do something a little more adventurous. But
he's fine.
In a tight ball game like this, Chris Jones plays close to the vest.
Well, and field goal to tie is an important part here of the strategy. Did not take those chances and then lose the opportunity to at least tie it up here.
Missed from 50. Going in this direction earlier in the fourth quarter, so looking to get closer at least for Lowther. Likely wanting more than that. Football incomplete off the fingertips of Devin Bailey.
A lot of quick slants, a lot of quick outs. The progression on that is a double move. Now you need time to throw it if you're Zach Caleros, but an out and up, a slant and go.
Spread right. 60 Banff. 60 Banff on one. Ready? Banff.
None of the missiles.
Sit down. Green A. Green A, huh?
Big 2nd and 10 here. Crossbody and a terrific catch there from Brian Jones.
Let's see if he doesn't go back to him on that curl. After the drop in the last series, the confidence may still be wavering a little bit, and he doesn't make this really tough catch over the middle. He comes from the right of your screen, and it's going to be a tough catch. Now, Caleros has got to roll to his right, throw back across the body. And you see how tightly covered he was, but he makes a tough catch and a first down.
Hurry, hurry. Hey, let it roll, let it roll. Let it roll, let it roll. Hurry, hurry. Sit down.
Now steps up. That ball tipped incomplete off the fingertips of J.C. Sherritt.
There he is right there. Going to drop back into that open area to the right of the goalpost. Trying to read the throwing motion of Zach Caleros, and just enough tip to keep it away from Kenny Shaw.
Another big 2nd and 10. On the fringe of Lowther range here. 4-man rush. Pressure coming. Throws the out, and it's intercepted. Mercy Maston got a put down and comes up with the football at the Saskatchewan, or the Edmonton 33.
Lord, I'm going to go with the 40.
Second interception of the year for Mercy Maston, and it's an enormous one for the Edmonton Eskimos. At the 3-minute war, Mosaic.
For tickets, go to Riderville.com.
Boise State product. One of the biggest defensive plays of the game. Turnovers now even at 2 apiece. And the Eskimos with the football at their own 33. And they stack some first downs together. Here's a start. Brian Mitchell has a first down up to the 40.
That was just a pass that Zach Collaros was falling away at the time. He let this go as he's kind of falling away from it with a little bit of pressure from the inside. Ball sails on him, well overthrows Shaq Evans, and right in the hands of Mercy Matson, and now Mike Riley has a chance to add to the lead.
94 hat.
Trying to get back above 500, trying to snap a 4-game losing streak on the road. Gable lunging ahead close to the 51 and about 6.
Difficult part about it for Zach Collaros was that he was close to field goal range. I mean, it would have been a long one. But he stopped here, he gets another chance.
Came up short from 50. That would have been a 48-yard attempt. It had been incomplete. Offense trying to stay on the field. Pressure coming. Ball intercepted. It's Willie Jefferson, and he's gone. Second touchdown of the season, and Jefferson's going to take the scenic route again. He's taking time off the clock, and he is going to step into the end zone. Seems fitting that if there was going to be a touchdown today, it was going to be by the defense.
And it comes from pressure. And both these quarterbacks have been under a tremendous amount of pressure all game long, causing the inaccurate throws, causing the issues. And it happens again. This time, they're going to line up Willie Jefferson right in the middle, basically a gap between center and guard. He lines up there as if he's going to come, but he steps up the field, and then he's the spy. He drops out of there as the spy. That's something that Mike Riley doesn't recognize, and as he's trying to force the throw because he's got that pocket collapsing around him, Willie Jefferson takes it and eventually gets to the house.
Edmonton is challenging the previous play for roughing the passer. This will be reviewed.
Oh. This might be the challenge year.
Well,
if successful.
Yeah, and we'll take a look if there was a little extra act on Mike Riley. But he does get hit. I know that because that's what caused it. Let's take a look. Riley in the backfield. Right down there is Zach Evans. And apparently Zach Evans slices through. High hit.
Boy, there's a play like that last year in Toronto that did not get called, and there was a lot of people upset about it.
Mike Riley trying to shake it off as much as anything and see what the decision is here, but this is probably the biggest challenge of the year for any coach.
No question.
And one of the biggest decisions that'll have to be made from the command center. I don't think it was necessarily late. The ball was out and the hit happened right after. The question for me is, was it too high? The hit to the head, helmet to helmet to the helmet, yeah.
And not suggesting it was a spear, but the contact was on the helmet of the quarterback. And if successful, the double whammy is the amount of time that Willie Jefferson took off the clock, which might be in favor of Edmonton. Not that he ever could have anticipated that.
Get ready if it's a touchdown.
And Zach just read his lips. He said, "I think so." And we're guessing that he might.
Well, the question is it the helmet contact on the quarterback? Or was there anything after the fact? And it's close. It's got a verdict. It's close.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. There is no penalty. Edmonton is charged with the last timeout.
sigh of relief.
Found the most thankful guy on Thanksgiving Day. It's Zach Evans.
That was a great shot. Of a guy going, oh. He knew it was that close.
Well, this is a big convert upcoming for Lowther. Trying to make it a 4-point lead. 16-12, Roughriders have the lead.
It's not over, baby.
But Willie Jefferson just reminds you, there's still a minute 37 to go, and the Eskimos get the football back. The third turnover of the game, all 3 interceptions, and that one the biggest by a former Edmonton Eskimo and Mike Riley teammate Willie Jefferson.
Trying to throw the slant route. He's just a freak of nature, this guy. He's big, huge, fast defensive end that can, as you saw, play inside and has great hands. A couple of pick sixes for him this year. But as you mentioned, Chris, 137 is a long time in the Canadian Football League.
17 interceptions now on the year for Mike Riley.
For Edmonton fans, too, I should say the command center. The command center this year has made the mandate that if they're going to overturn a call on the field, there has to be something egregious out there, something so obvious that they have to overturn it. And that one was too close to change the call.
Cheese Jackson on the return. And was it the cause of the interception? So here we go. Now a 4-point Saskatchewan lead. And Mike Riley and company have to deal with this.
All right, we got plunge right squeeze, trio sword, 50 horse bump, S-Nazi, stunner, hatchet lock, one side on side. Ready? Yeah, sword up to the right about there. Knock. Go.
Cheese Jackson on the field. And he is running a rope. Pressure on Riley again. And that one thrown to the sidelines, incomplete. Too much heat.
Jefferson and Charleston. Hughes. One more time. There's Jefferson. There's Hughes. Both are going to cause problems for Riley. He steps up. He feels Hughes coming to the front side of the play. Steps underneath, and Jefferson just fighting and crawling and scratching to get there.
And Zach Evans didn't look like he wanted to hit the quarterback at the end of the play. 2nd and 10. Pressure, look out. Ball knocked out of his hands. And Riley back on it. That was Cameron Judge. Off the edge. And it's 3rd down.
Lines up inside, and then is going to loop around and get there from behind. Mike Riley doesn't see him. Cameron Judge steps up in the field, and he's going to loop behind Willie Jefferson. And when the O-line finally stops number 7, the linebacker gets it.
All comes down to this. 3rd and 14. Kevin Hazelton can't make the catch. Turnover on downs. And the Roughriders take over at the Edmonton 30-yard line. Second consecutive game that the Eskimos will not score an offensive touchdown. Riley held to 151 today after 164 yards passing a week ago. 30 points for Edmonton in their last 3 games, excluding what might happen in this final minute. Mason brought down by Alex Bazzi.
Now, all of a sudden, Edmonton has protection issues over the last 3 weeks. And here's the reaction after the incomplete. All the pressure all game forced an early throw on that last 3rd down attempt. Chris Jones, that's much closer to a home playoff game.
Queen's right lock. Pistol, 45 bend bone, wide Rodney
And I would
slides.
say it could get loud in this building if we're here for the Western semifinal.
45 pistol.
That's the understatement of the day.
Captain Obvious shot.
Mason hasn't been able to make an impact on the game, but
for Mike Riley, Chris, and Jason Moss, I mean, you're talking about now trying to fix this offense. And I know Darrell Walker's not been available. Duke Williams has been banged up. And Nick Marshall did a real good job in man-to-man locking him down this afternoon. But I think it's more than that. It's protection up front. All of a sudden, Riley has been pounded. He's been hit. He's been sacked and harassed. And he was just happy to get the ball out of his hands on that 3rd down gamble. And he had to throw it early and couldn't get it to Vidal Hazen.
5 sacks on the day. And again, the pressure.
Not 3rd down gamble. 3rd down, they had to go for it, but you know what I'm saying.
Run down the clock. They take a timeout. It is an enormous step towards a home. They'll stay within 4 points of Calgary. And the Eskimos drop below 500. 5th loss in 6 losses in 8. And I think everybody's opinion, they were the 2nd best team halfway through the season, and now they may be in danger of missing the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right.
It's interesting that they try this. Wilder puts it up and through. Time for the Nissan Titan Player of the Game, brought to you by the Nissan Titan, the official vehicle of the Canadian Football League.
Well, today was going to defensive player. When you take a look at the score and how these offenses have been stopped in their tracks, it was going to a defensive player. So how about the guy who made the biggest play of the game? Not to mention a sack and a bunch of tackles. And, oh, yeah, the interception for a touchdown late in the 4th quarter for the go-ahead points for Saskatchewan.
Boy, what a pair of bookend defensive ends they have. Charleston Hughes leads the league in sacks. He added to his total today, and Willie Jefferson, that extra threat on the other side with his 2nd touchdown. 7 interception returns for touchdowns this year by the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Jackson wrestled down. Time for 1 play. Chad Jeter the tackle. Heard him called Duke. They may need the special Hail Mary now.
Well, they need a penalty on the Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
We need
765.
Pass interference call. That will give them 1 more
765.
play.
Hail Mary. All right. It's going to be down there about 60. Let's go. Here we go.
3 men up for the Riders. They've got 8 standing in midfield and 1 deeper than that. Riley going to check it as far as he can. Into heavy traffic, and it's caught, but down at the 9-yard line. Wow, Bryant Mitchell. But there are zeros on the clock, and a Hail Mary that comes up 8 yards short.
Ed Gainey makes a tackle from behind. to save the game.
Well, we better take another look.
Mitchell.
So almost a dramatic finish, but Willie Jefferson, the only man to score a touchdown today, a defensive touchdown for the red-hot Saskatchewan Roughriders. They win their 10th of the year, 10-5, and now the Eskimos' playoff hopes take a jolt at 7-8. Happy Thanksgiving.